We went all around the island by public transport. Here's how much of a pain that was and how much it cost. For our vacation this year, my girlfriend and I went to Sicily. We wanted to make it a trip all around the island, but here's the thing, neither of us drive. So we knew we were gonna do it by public transport. When I looked online for information and other people's experiences, I really didn't find that much. So I thought I would make this little film to share how we got on. Maybe it could be helpful to some of you travelers out there. First we flew from Berlin to Palermo. Because you guys might be flying in from somewhere completely different, I'm not gonna include that part in my cost calculation at the end. From the airport we took a bus to the central train station, and from there it really was only a short walk to our Airbnb. So far so good, right? After a few days in Palermo, it was time to really get going on our round trip. We wanted to go to Agrigento next, and so we looked at our options. We could either take the train or we could take the bus. The problem with the buses was that the agency's websites were all in Italian, and at this point of our trip we were not ready for that challenge. So we opted to take the train. We went to the train station and it's pretty easy to use the ticket machines. You can choose your language, there's English and a bunch of others. The tickets to Agrigento were €9 each and the train was perfectly on time, so off we were to our next destination. We only stayed in Agrigento for one night to see the old Greek temples there. They were very cool. We used the city bus once while we were there. The next day we were on the road again. There wasn't a train going from Agrigento to Syracuse where we wanted to go next, and so we had to take the bus this time. Eventually we just figured out the address of the bus agency and went straight there. That was the right decision because they were so kind and they explained everything to us and the times and which bus we needed to take. The bus was €13.40 to take us from Agrigento to Catania, which took about 3 to 4 hours, if I remember correctly. And then we switched to a train, which took us the last few kilometers to Syracuse. Okay, but a real time here, I do not have any footage from our time in Syracuse because I turned into a horrible PMSing monster. I did film our day trip to Noto though, which was one of my favorite things we did on our trip. It was even more delicious than I expected. Okay, let's move along a little bit quicker for the next part of this video. after 2 great weeks on the tracks, it was finally time for us to get off the island. And I guess we also did that by using public transport. Fantastic trip for us. And by taking public transport, we avoided all the pain points of driving. Looking for parking, crazy drivers, being stuck in traffic, etc. And on the train, we could read, we could listen to audiobooks or take naps. I acknowledge that this might not be for everybody. You're kind of limited to the cities on the coast because they're the most accessible through public transport. Taking it inland is honestly a bit of a hassle. And we had to be really patient sometimes because the trains or buses were going much slower than we would have liked them to be. Not all the time, but sometimes definitely. Now the last big question that remains is how much did it all cost? So let's add it up. So there we have it. All in all, transport ended up costing us 122 euros per person or 244 for the both of us over the course of 12 days. Now I'm not going to compare this to the price of a rental car and gas because gas prices fluctuate and the price of your rental car depends on what kind of deal you can get. But I hope this was helpful information and you can use it as a reference when you're planning your own trip. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who likes to travel, and you can also subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more videos in the future. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye!